What is up, people? Oh god, that is a terrible start. Alright, concentrate. What's up, people? Big G Gadgets here, and also of Big G Gaming. But that's another chat for another time. In fact, go check out the update video I just did. Gives you all the details you need on the other channel, where I suck at gaming. It's brilliant! So towards the end of last year, LG decided to throw out some 8K TVs for us fine consumers to buy. This hopefully means that 4K TVs are going to be cheaper and easier to obtain. Fingers crossed. Heck, if you were good enough, maybe Santa brought you a 4K TV to lay underneath your Christmas tree last year. Obviously I wasn't good enough because Santa brought me an Amzon Fire Stick 4K. Heck, it wasn't even Santa. Thanks, Mum. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So without further ado, let's get to it. Now in the box you get the following gumph. Your paperwork, of course you get your paperwork. You get your power supply coming in the form of a beautiful plug and a micro USB-A cable to plug straight into the Fire Stick. Now, something to bear in mind with this, after I tried to power the Fire Stick out of the USB port in the back of my TV, a lovely little message came up saying there was insufficient power. Apparently the TV USB port just doesn't give enough juice to power the Fire Stick and it needs to come directly from the wall. For those of you who've got a wall-mounted TV and no power supply directly behind that bad boy, you're going to have to run that micro USB cable to power the Fire Stick down towards the plug sockets on the ground. Back to what's in the box and you get your Fire Stick itself. Chunky, bigger than its predecessor in both width and length, and wide enough to block any of the other HDMI ports that sit in proximity to the one you're using. Most of the time you will be using the HDMI extender cable that comes with the box, just so you can use the HDMI ports in your TV adjacent to where you want to plug in the Fire Stick. Now the piece de la resistance to this little package is this bad boy, the remote. This little bundle of joy has a minimalist feel, a matte black finish, just enough buttons to get you by to what you need to do. And speaking of the control buttons, this thing is packed with infrared and Bluetooth 5.0, which means you can control the Fire Stick and some aspects of the TV controls directly from this little box. Power on and off, volume to give a few examples. Probably the only examples I can think of. It doesn't allow you to do HDMI input changes or access the TV menu, so I do wonder how useful this will be for those people who change inputs frequently. I myself have an Xbox One, a PS4, the Fire Stick, and I find myself changing between HDMI inputs quite frequently and have to use the other remote anyway. So, sure, good if you've just used the Fire Stick. Not so great if you're me. The one saving grace of this remote is it comes with Alexa built-in voice functionality. This thing is great. Being able to literally just talk to your remote, telling it what you want to play. Play Scrubs.
Getting Scrubs from Prime Video.
Fast forward 20 minutes. Rewind 10 minutes.
So little I almost passed out.
Yeah! Hardware wise, this thing comes packed to the brim. 1.5 gigabytes of RAM, a 1.7 gigahertz chip, which is probably the biggest upgrade this thing has had from its predecessor, and it's needed when you're pumping out a 4K signal. Boy, does this run as smooth as a baby's bottom. That's real smooth, baby. Woo! As smooth as a baby's bottom. I need help. It does also come with 8 gigabytes of internal memory. I would have liked to have seen an SD card slot in there somewhere, just a little micro SD card slot. It's got all the real estate. It's a big enough piece of... What is it? It's a big enough piece of what? I mean, it's a big enough device. You could maybe have packed that in there. I don't know. Amazon? What are you saying? Get that in there for next one, please. For those of you who are interested, get out more, but the software-wise, the Fire Stick 4K comes with the MT8695 platform, which is specifically designed for media streaming, and it shows, full stop. I'm never going to remember that. Don't judge me. For those of you who have the hardware, it comes supporting HDR, HDR10+, and Dolby Vision, just for those who want that extra colour, just depth, that For those of you who are rocking multi-channel sound outputs, 5.1, 7.1, it does also support Dolby Atmos sound, which is pretty much unheard of when you're talking about streaming devices like this. Sure, the Apple 4K TV does do that also. Yeah, okay, sure, you got me. But you're paying triple the price. For those of you with an external Alexa device, you can control the TV via that method rather than talking into the remote. You can link it up with the Fire Stick, talk to it like any other smart home device. Hey Alexa! The home screen and the menus look pretty clean, run smoothly, there's no issues. Apart from the fact there is no dedicated YouTube application. Sure, you can get onto YouTube, but you have to go in via the web browser, which is a bit of a pain. Google, Amazon, just sort it out. Shake hands, make friends, it can't be that bad. Don't let the consumer get caught up in your beef. Sort out your setup is pretty straightforward. Plug it into the TV, supply it power, and switch it on. You'll get presented with a number of different things to go through, setting up your Wi-Fi, setting up your Amazon account, and selecting the applications that you want to put on the TV itself. Now there are a couple of weird decisions in the settings menu that Amazon decided to make, and I would change the first time you get into this bad boy. The first one can be found in display and sounds, display, and then dynamic range setting. It comes with the HDR always on. Always. Switch that to adaptive and all those programs, all those things that you're watching that don't support HDR will look a lot better. The other setting I would change is also found in display and sounds, but it's all to do with frame rate. Head to the match original frame rate option and switch it on, and it will just give you a little bit of a smoother watch. Not needed, probably won't notice too much, but I'm a bit strange like that, so I switch it on. And with that, you're pretty much ready to go. Head over to the App Store in the top menu, download whatever apps you want to get. Games, Netflix, NFL Europe, NHL, UFC, whatever your heart desires, and boom! Enjoy 4K glory on that new 4K TV you got, and you can thank me later. Big G out!